Good. Are we on? I guess so. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the program. It is Sunday. It is I here in Philadelphia, of all places. Can't beat it. Hotel by the airport, surrounded by a parking lot, surrounded by a highway, surrounded by trees. There is no building within a 20-mile radius that has been designed with any kind of appreciation for art or design. It's just how much room do we need this thing to be? There it is. And the color is gray. I have my coffee here. I have my underwear here. They're pink, as you can see. I will also say, certainly and quite fastidiously, whatever you are doing, I beseech you to go watch the latest AEW with Scotland's own Grado. If you know him, you love him. If you don't know him, you'll probably hate him, but you should watch it. Go watch, go like, go comment, go share. Maybe it'll, really take off on Scottish TikTok. That'll be a real happening thing. Go do that. Go do that now. Christine, what episode is it? I have no idea what episode it is. 154? 155? Things are really happening. I am in Philly. I have not had really a moment to rest. We have been on the go. We are in the 2300 arena. It is a small, it's so generous to call it an arena, but it's a very historical building. We're going to have a nice time. Red Dog said, good morning, RJ, and everyone. Dara said, good morning, beloveds. Hope you all survived the week okay. Leo said, I had some vegan hot dogs. They were very delicious, so I'm just a fucking diary for you. Mass Sandy said, good morning, everyone. Mass Sandy, I believe, will be coming soon to the arena. For which shows, I don't know, but it'll be a nice time. Mia said, good morning, beautiful people. Leo said, did you like my impressions? Let's listen to Leo's impressions, shall we? I think that's a good idea. Let me find them. Here we go. Here's a couple Leo impressions that he was nice enough to send.
JC, he's never touched a titty. No, I'm just kidding, mate. I won't go there. But there's a more important issue that I want to talk about, and that's tonight in that cage match. John Moxley, bruv, if you think you're getting out...
Oh, this is Will Ospreay. I thought it was an Nigel, but it's not.
You're in on your shoulders. You're even stupider than you are bald, lad.
Not the best. Not the best. Let's see the next impression.
Nigel McGuinness, former ROH World Champion. Johnny Saint, former 10-time World Lightweight Champion.
That's it. That was Leo's impressions, of course, of Nigel McGuinness and Johnny Saint from the Forbidden Door special entrance video. Really, really nice touch there. Thank you so much for that, Leo. Really, really opened my eyes to the whole world. We are not doing a long one today. We are only going half an hour. I have a flight to catch, and then I'll be back and forth and back and forth. There is no stopping. Let us talk. Were you able to get Johnny Saint or Blue Meanie for Hey? I cannot comment on that at this time. No Johnny Saint. He was like, who the fuck are you? I said, you want to play Yahtzee? Miss Andy said, I like a good local Chinese restaurant a lot, but apparently not as much as Grado likes his favorite. It must have been great. There's no way he knows what good Chinese food tastes like. It was probably amazing, but also just ruined your insides. It's amazing and bad for you at the same time. That moment of putting it in your mouth is fucking great, and then everything else is bad. Mia said, are you sharing 2 beds in your hotel room? Do you take turns sleeping in each of the beds? Why not ask for a king-size bed? Well, so, more often than not, there's 2 twin beds in the room, and I don't ask for a king because this is like a table. This is like a packing table for me. You put stuff on the bed, you leave it open, because my luggage is so big that the luggage rack doesn't really hold it. And this is a good place to lay out my clothes and take off clothes and pack them and get them organized. It's a table, basically. I much prefer it. If I have a choice, I would rather do this. And also, the other one, I will always take the one closest to the bathroom and closest to the television, because one of these is like made for the television. There's like a clear bed to use and a clear bed not to use. Miss Annie said, I was at the arena on Wednesday. I'll be back on Saturday. So will I. Val Pancakes is here from 40 years ago. It's lovely to see you. Skylar Kafab said, much love from Long Beach. All right. Leo said, I like that Nigel entrance. Best Andy said, the arena is much different from when I was last there for matches in 1997. So my understanding is that we put bleachers in to try to get that feel. But there's little things like the crow's nest. You can't get to it. I guess they must have a different configuration. Obviously, we are using the backstage much differently. As you can see, most of the promos are outside because we need that space. I would like to know what the configuration was. If you could find me, Mass Sanity, the original floor plans, I would really appreciate it. Andrea said, look at me being awake. Mia said, where's my nails? Is she lurking? She never lurks. Leo said, Johnny Stamp looks really good for 84. Joe said, morning, everyone. Random RJ, but what's your favorite Tim Conway role post Carol Burnett? I like the Apple Dumpling Gang. I like the Apple Dumpling Gang rides again. He also did another movie with Don Knotts for the Private Eyes, and also did one called The Prize Fighter. They were a little comedy duo for a little bit. Wasn't awful. The Prize Fighter was written also by Tim Conway and has really nobody else in it. This was there. So it was after the Apple Dumpling Gang. The Apple Dumpling Gang rides again. And Gus. I forgot about Gus. It's a movie about a football playing mule. Obviously. It has Ed Asner in it. Dick Van Patten. You know, everyone you would really, really want in a movie about a football playing mule. The leading laugh scorer. That's the tagline for the movie. Gus. Mia said, my favorite local Chinese restaurant closed down. I haven't found one that I like. Well, you should have gotten it tattooed. Leo said, it's probably not Chinese food, just bad Britified food. It's called Maze. Big Ben Ortmans is here. Good morning, sir. Hope you're doing well. I may see you soon. I'm excited to do so. Well, that is just wonderful. Christine said, Nails and Robs are overseas with my family, but they're here in spirit always. Oh, isn't that sweet? I've lost my place. KP said, good morning, RJ. S said, I do the same thing. I don't need the king bed. I need the twin table. Good. Andrea said, the most difficult thing in life is finding good mushu. Lauren said, hey, RJ in chat, my brother's wedding is this week. What words of advice would you give him? And am I in charge of the music? What song should I put on the playlist? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Just pick songs by one artist. Just do Van Morrison and just Van Morrison, and I think you'll have a good time. Do I have any advice? No. I mean, I don't know why you're throwing it. I don't know what the relationships are with the man and his wife, with the man and his family and his friends and himself, his heart. Just keep it short. Keep the speeches no longer than 5 fucking minutes, and there should be no more than 3 fucking speeches. It's not a Lifetime Achievement Award. It's not like Carol Burnett. We salute Carol Burnett for 50 years in comedy. It's not that fucking thing. No one's extraordinary. Just to have a wedding. Mango said, favorite food you've eaten on the UK tour? I will say the oysters were delicious. I had them in Glasgow. They're bigger. The shells are big and they're very robust. I couldn't do them all the time. Probably make me sick, but they were nice. Mia said, that's smart. I will do that when I travel. Leo said, what did you make of the O2? Well, I think it's weird that like we're on an island basically, and it takes an hour to get anywhere. It's like, oh, we have a mall here. It's like, this is not what I wanted from England. I have all these stores at home. This is not really as exotic as I was hoping it would be. The food was good, but then it just takes an hour to get everywhere. No Uber Eats wants to deliver to you. No Ubers want to take you out of the place. But the building was nice. Also, where we were scared the shit out of me. I don't know if you watched 0 Hour. Me, Jeff, Madison, Renee, Brian didn't show up because he's a piece of shit. We were on this high thing with the low railing, and I got disoriented multiple times. Leo said, Christine said, in case you missed it, the Grado episode is episode 154. Holy shit. Go back, comment, like, share the kit and the caboodle. Mia said, unlike Mercedes Monet, did you like the food in London? What is her deal? She's got to talk about it all the time. She's got to put one thing in her mouth and say, this is good. This is like, all right, okay, calm down. Just eat the food. It was fine. It was fine food. I had actually, the hotel had a good restaurant. We had a couple different places that were nice. I don't see what the problem is. I don't see why it's a topic of discussion. Miss Annie said the hard cam used to face the section where the commentary teams are. I see, but AEW is using the basic same configuration. That makes sense. And that's why we don't have the crow's nest, because that's where it is. It's behind the curtain. Son of a bitch, bastard. Leo said Monster Munch is the best Brit snack. Vertisperm said, good morning, my little buttercup. Val said, wasn't awful. What a glowing review. Prisma said, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Shades of Beige with RJ City. Skylar said, thank you for being a friend. All right. Joe said, I loved his later TV roles in Yes, Dear and The Drew Carey Show. I'm definitely watching Gus today. Everyone take some time out of your day when this show's over to watch The Hay with Grado and Gus. Leo said, did you like Fraggle Rock? That's a great question. Can you like things without watching them? Can you go, okay, this is all right, this is good, but like I'm not gonna be watching every episode. Like I can shut it off and walk away immediately. The Muppet Show, I'm like, oh, I think it's a good premise. I like that. Like that's fun. It was too much effort on like society building. I really wasn't interested in the dynamics of how that came together, how the Fraggles existed and governed themselves. And the infrastructure really wasn't my bag, but I liked that they lived in the corner of the old man's wall. Walter said, hey, EW with Grado was funny, thanks. He also said, AEW Collision, good wrestling on Saturday. So that means he owns a calendar. Leo said, when are you getting scanned for an action figure? Probably fucking never, especially at the rate these things come out. I've been here 3 years now. It's not happening. It's not fucking happening. Do you know what I mean? Leo said, I hope the next AEW game is like No Mercy, where there are loads of playable characters that were not wrestlers. Being able to wrestle as Tony Schiavone, Renee, RJ, etc. Somebody said, I believe Justin Wang tweeted out, I would play the shit out of a Streets of Rage type AEW game. And I agree. It's hard to say what you want out of your wrestling game, because sometimes it's like, we want hyper realism, but it's like, but that's not what wrestling is. So then it's like, we want something so crazy that it's like WrestleMania, the arcade game. I don't know. I'm gonna have some Gatorade here too. I have it here, and I got to drink it before I, get on my flight. I don't want to waste it. Red Dog said, I love watching Apple Dumpling Gang. It's so Disney Channel during the early 90s, early 2000s, when they used to show the old Disney movies and Mickey, Donald, and Goofy cartoon shorts. The oldest fucking Kurt Russell movies. Walter said, RJ, you're in Philly, home of ECW wrestling. It's not really the home, though. Most people were from New York. Just going to throw that out there. I think it's just the building that let them hang shit. It's the building that hasn't been demolished yet. Christine said, I forgot to thank my maid of honor in Christine said, I forgot to thank my maid of honor in my speech at my wedding and had to run back up and fix it, and it'll haunt me until the day I die. This isn't the Oscars. It's a fucking, like, even the burden to thank anyone is like, fuck off. Be drunk, be in love, be messy, and then get the fuck out of there. People want to just come to eat. They want to see you for maybe 5 minutes to cry about how beautiful you look. Then they want to drink, eat, and dance, and then fucking leave. There's nothing I enjoy more than leaving a wedding early. Walter said, RJ, in your Philly home, I just read that. Red Dog said, Disney Channel, I can't type. Yeah, I got that. Andrea said, yeah, I can't handle even seemingly low heights. Multiple times I got disoriented. Leo said, Philly's the home of XPW. The X is for extreme. A Rob Black production. What was that guy's name? Christine said, did you hear Family Channel is going off the air in Canada? I did not. Oh my God. Let me see. It's gonna. Oh, this is really breaking news, Christine. This is from a day ago. Toronto-based entertainment firm Wild Brain said Family Junior, Wild Brain TV, and Telemaginio will also be shuttered. They got dropped by Rogers and Bell. TV broadcaster of young viewer favorites, including, what's on my face? The Next Step and Yo Gabba Gabba is going off the air amid a declining broadcast space. They're no longer commercially viable. They are pulled from Rogers and will surrender the channel licenses to the CRTC. Oh, that's fucking sad. That's really awful. They also played Peanuts, Strawberry Shortcake, and Teletubbies. You're like, I don't understand. I watched all these fucking streaming shit. Yeah, I hope you're all happy now. Matt Sandy said Fraggle Rock was great. I don't know if it was great. Mia said, have you ever read Silver Linings Playbook? I saw the movie last night. No, and I don't think I need to. Ellie Not So Smelly said, good morning, y'all. Isn't it like Rain Man Falls in Love? Isn't that the fucking movie? Leo said, I love Uncle Traveling Matt from Fraggle Rock. I did love him too. I love anytime you can get real puppets. You can get puppets out in the real world, you know? Prisma said the Fraggle Rock theme song was great. Mia said, thank you for the reminder, Christine. Blessings for Robin Nails. Leo said, I have an Uncle Traveling Matt plushie. Jesus. Christine said, let the music play. Bum, bum, down Fraggle Rock. Leo said, AEW backstage assault. My point exactly. Sounds like a great fucking idea. And then it's like, I'm in a parking lot with Bobby Duncombe Jr. And suddenly it's not so viable. Mia said, have a safe flight, RJ. What's the cheat meal when you get home? Great question. There's perhaps some macaroni and cheese. There's some wings. But I'll see how I feel. Prisma said, I saw Renee's story about planning outfits with you. What was the comedy outfit you suggested for her? So I suggested for All Out that we coordinate outfits. And she thought I meant let's wear the exact same outfit. And that's not what I meant at all. She reads, but she doesn't comprehend. The message is sent, but it's not received. Miss Andy said, the poison cackler from Fraggle Rock frightens me. Oh my God. I don't fucking remember this at all. And what a name. Is it a spider? It's a spider. Ugh. Jesus. That's pretty fucking alarming. I must be honest with you. I don't remember that at all. The home of ECW was legally Scarsdale. The whole company was a scam. Let's start there. Leo said, crazy at the time. People thought that the only way is up after No Mercy. But they've never made a better game except maybe Here Comes the Pain, which I also was not crazy about. It's so funny. Like, No Mercy, WrestleMania 2000, I feel like doesn't get the credit it deserves. Revenge is great. And the original World Tour is also great. I think there's also something to do with that roster having that many people, and it was the right amount. What was on TV was ridiculous enough to reflect how ridiculous the game was. That just seemed to sync up perfectly in a way it hasn't quite since. Mia said, you give thank you cards when you're on your honeymoon. Exactly. Andrea said, RJ sang for my wedding. The whole ceremony itself was just a pizza party. That's what I'm talking about. Leo said, my Will Ospreay impression was much better in my head. I was awful. Halfway through, I figured out it was Ospreay. When you said, this is Will Ospreay. Mia said, I just want my free food and drinks at a wedding. Then after that, I'll dance alone. I'll go home. It's not free, though. You got to give fucking gifts. You got to give cash. There's a registry. Fuck off. You got to dress up. You got to get there. You got to get hotels. It's not fucking free. Mikey said, the wedding I was at last night had a food truck outside instead of a sit-down meal. So you can grab your food and take off if you wanted. So I went to a wedding years and years and years ago in Orlando. I'm not going to say whose wedding it was. Just because I really fucking whatever. But it was I wasn't close with them. I don't know the people. It was at a house. A doctor they're friends with had this giant house. And it was like, we'll have the wedding there. Okay. Which, I mean, the house is big enough. It was like a big hall, basically. And it was a circus-themed wedding. Okay. So they had a guy on stilts, a woman with a hula hoop and shit. And I'm there. Matt Cardona was there. Chelsea was there. There was no fucking food. There's no fucking tables. What they had hors d'oeuvres. And the main food was fucking food trucks that pulled outside the front of the house. And you had to go walk through the house to the front of the house and go stand in line to get fucking sliders or some shit. I thought that was the novelty before the food. That was all they fucking had. And it was fucking awful. And then we're in this, like, everyone come to the games room. We'll make speeches. Okay. Whoever's making a fucking speech. And I look over, and there's a gold framed painting of Trump playing poker with Lincoln, Washington, and Ronald Reagan. And I thought, I'm in. Get out. I have to get out of here. This is fucking awful. Christine said, will you be home at all before All Out? Only for literally a day at a time. And even then, probably not. Might be easier to just stay on the road. So it sucks. It's weird being at home. I will also say, already coming home doesn't feel like I'm being at home. I'm not getting a relaxing week. There's too much stuff going on, which is, frustrating, but we shall overcome. I do want to say this, a little, for everyone here, a little heads up. Probably tomorrow we will be announcing the next All Elite Comedy show, which will be coming to you from St. Louis. The day before Wrestle Dream, the night before Wrestle Dream, in St. Louis. There's a nice place. We're going to have a really nice time. I'm not going to tell you the lineup yet, but it is eclectic. Lola said TV is dying and it's kind of sad. Yet, there's nothing I love more in a hotel. We were talking about this yesterday. There's nothing I love more than putting on PBS and going to sleep with PBS on and sleeping, and they'll do one of those pledge drives and it's songs of the 60s, which is great. Or they'll do like Ken Burns documentary. And some other guy made like 10 books about how to travel in Europe, or the history of the American Railroad. I'm asleep and I'm like, this is the fucking best. And then you wake up to the theme from Arthur. You go, I'm up. I also want to point out, because I think it's quite frankly a fucking injustice, my understanding that 2 nights ago at Ring of Honor's Death Before Dishonor, Paul Walterhauser, big Hollywood celebrity, had a friend with him. Oh, hold on. Dear Lord. People don't understand. I've been doing this for fucking 7 years, and only now. Anyway, back to my fucking story. Paul Walterhauser, big hobnobber, bring celebrity friends with it. You know who was there? That I didn't even know was there, and that we did nothing with, and I got very mad about it, that people didn't even know was there. Stephen Root from News Radio, and he was in Office Space, and he was a Klingon, and I was like, how, no one said anything? There's no fucking heads up, no nothing? Stephen Root was in attendance, and I want to apologize for not knowing about it. It's a failure on my part. I'm really sorry. Mia said, how come there's no 0 hour for Ring of Honor pay-per-views? There is, but it's just matches. I don't know why they have it like that. But also, that whole Ring of Honor pay-per-view is free on YouTube right now anyway. So, enjoy yourself. Red Dog said, the old family channel around here ended up being called Freeform. I remember that. And had crap like Pretty Little Liars and would constantly air Harry Potter and Twilight. Do you remember when it was like how MTV just turned into reruns of fucking ridiculousness? Wild talk. Joe said, all this family channel talk reminded me of Big Brother Jake, starring the multi-talented Jake Steinfeld. Christine said, that's not what coordinate means, Christine. I completely agree. Sean is here late. He claims he's been here on time. He's full of shit. Sean said, Here Comes the Pain is arguably the best video game roster ever. No, Revenge blows it out of the fucking water. Larry Zbyszko. Elite Easy said, No Mercy and Here Comes the Pain are goated as virtual pro wrestling too, which I don't like that much. Sociera said, Coordinate and matching, not the same thing, Renee, please. Prisma said, Any new video games going to be played by you coming up on the channel now that you finished Power Rangers? There is a couple I'm looking into. I still have a bunch of Sega games I want to get through. I also have the remake of Gargoyles. I'm going to try my best. When I'm home. Fuck. I still have a bunch of cards to open too. Hannibal said, Morning, RJ. Morning, citizens. Did you try anything exciting in London or Glasgow? No, and I'm happy about it. Andrew said, Please no Whimsy at my wedding. That's my girl. Yolanda said, Hey, party people. Lee Easy said, Better than Mount Rushmore. Leo said, If Tess was still alive, do you think he would be an overbearing, born-again Christian? Probably. Miss Annie said, Why not an all-league comedy show to go with Full Gear in New Jersey? How about you fucking wait a second, Miss Annie? How about you fucking relax? Let's get through Wrestle Dream first. St. Louis is a new market. We've only done it in Chicago before. So this is make or break. If we don't sell out, I don't think I will do one outside of Chicago again. Yolanda said, Hey, Mia. Christine said, We got married at a ceramics museum across from the ROM. What a Toronto sentence. And had a midnight French fries and tables named after sci-fi shows. Nerds. Did you have a Lost in Space table? You're sitting at the Deep Space Nine table. Mia said, No Chicago this time. Move closer to Florida. Well, what the fuck? Yolanda is just laughing. Christine said, I'd be annoyed about no all-league comedy in Toronto, but we already have mystery wrestling. Sean said, Oh my God, it's been that long. Stephen Root? Yeah, that's what it's Stephen with a PH. Stephen. Stephen Root's an absolute joy. That's why you should have done Zero Out. Yeah, for Stephen Root. Lauren said, News Radio is one of my favorite sitcoms. I just saw him when I rewatched Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And she said, 7 joyous years. God bless you. Sean said, He's Bill in King of the Hill and The Raven and Barry, which are both absolutely stellar roles. Go look at the IMDb. It's ridiculous. Leo said, I once went to a small concert and I didn't know Martha Plimpton was in attendance until the next day. Easy said, Why is Canada suddenly anti-cartoon? It's all on streaming. The government's just putting it all on streaming. Mia said, We need you and Dalton Castle talking about Ring of Honor matches before this show. Sean said, Larry Zbyszko is a great inclusion. Has a game ever had Killer Kowalski? Let me see. I'm going to see if the Legends of Wrestling video game roster had it. They had Don Morocco. Ivan Koloff, Ivan Putski. You got 2 Ivans. Kerry Fritz, Kevin Michael, David Von Erich, Captain Lou Albano. Let me look at the Legends of Wrestling 2 roster. The new legends are, you might get Killer Kowalski. He's in the game. That's great. I love how I knew there had to be. His family must have been free with his license. Oof. And he was rough looking and fucking like boring, which is just great. And he had like that toupee look. Incredible shit. It's a strange fella. But it's charming nonetheless. Leo said, did my gift arrive? It did. I haven't had time to open it because I want to wait till I'm on the show to open it. Next time I do a show at home, I'll open it. Harley said, you have a condition. You scream like a baby, but the scream scares you. It's a vicious cycle. I'm fine. Everything's okay. I'm not worried about it. I think, you know, and I think we can just move on from the experience here. I don't think it's anything to be. I'm sorry. I want to apologize to everyone. That's very, it's unprofessional of me. And, you know, I get worked up and then all of a sudden you just, this needs to stop. This needs to end. That was the worst fucking request of all the shit, of all your stick the dick in the air conditioning, all that fucking shit. This was the worst one. Why am I screaming like a baby? But the scream would scare me. It's awful. That was fucking, oh, fuck you. Miss Andy said, I love how I always knew when Larry Zbyszko would be missing a dropkick. He just jumped and flopped. Those are the physics at play. Red Dog said, Stephen Root was also on a funny sitcom with Lowe called Grounded for Life. I loved that sitcom. And was the blind guy at the radio station, oh, brother, where art they out? Harley's Fashion Be Late. Blue Meanie is no longer a minion, poor thing. He was in and they got kicked out. Leo said Legends of Wrestling 2 and 3 had him. Forgot there was a Legends of Wrestling 3. How was the Legends of Wrestling that successful? Animal said, despite what idiots say, the Gummy Bear spot Forbidden Door was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in person. Well, I don't really watch AEW, so I can't comment. I didn't like it, but I also don't watch it. Prisma said, please tell me you did a hey with Meanie. Not yet. Easy said, Joe Rogan was like the 8th funniest comedian on news radio, which had Andy Dick. Isn't that fucking wild? Animal said, Legends of Wrestling also had Big Daddy and Giant Haystacks in the UK version. Oh, fuck. I want to go play this again. Steven's Milton character in Office Space is a classic. He saved Peter and the guys by setting the building on fire. He was also on he's also in Dodgeball. Mia said, have a great week, everyone. Harley said, awful, 2 out of 10. Red Dog said, good morning, Harley. Mia said, she said you were horrible. Do better. The request is bad. Leo said, what was worse, Harley's request or my Will Ospreay impression? Harley's request. Your Will Ospreay impression was just tremendous. Anyway, I have to go. I have a flight to catch. Go watch the latest Hey W with Grado. You have more than enough time to do it right now. Go watch, go like, go comment, go share. Go tell AW. Go tell Grado. He's very insecure. He sent me a voice message about it. I hope it was okay. Go tell him it was great. Here's a final look at this. There you go. Oh, I'm so scared. Fucking awful request. Until next time, Godspeed.